Everywhere we go, our head is up, our eyes are open, and we are looking to see what we can discover. And upon entering the Berks County Courthouse, we are walking down halls, and there's so much history, and so pictures are hung from historic part. There's a magazine sitting there, Berks First, who actually put us on to the fact that there is a Berks County Liberty Bell. Like, Berks County has its own Liberty Bell. It took me by surprise, so I started to prowl all the halls until I could actually come across where it was located in the Berks County Courthouse. And upon my surprise, it was there. I'm like, wow, we have our very own Berks County Liberty Bell, which hung right here in Reading at the corner of Penn Square back in 1776. Now, this was days after the 4th of July, of course. It was on July 8th. So come to discover that on this July 8th of 2024, they were going to do a ceremony. So I was like, I gotta get some kids together. We gotta bring them down. We gotta let them take control and see and discover and meet people and ask questions and say, why is this here? How did this come about? What if this was me being immortalized later on? What if I became an action figure?
My name's
How can I
Jermaine.
do this? So here we go. Take a listen.
My name's Kira.
We're here at the Berks County Courthouse to learn about the Liberty Bell.
Did you know that there was a Liberty Bell in Berks County?
No, I didn't know that.
Neither did I. I wonder why there's a Liberty Bell here in Berks County.
Yeah, me too. I also wonder why it's in the courthouse of all places.
Yeah, and when they put it here.
I also wonder how big it is, but I've never seen it.
Yeah, me too.
So let's go check it out.
Seriously, how can you not be inspired by their energy and their willingness to explore and learn? So I said, listen, before you go in there, take a step back with me. Let's go back in history and let's think about what was really taking place here in 1776, here in Reading, where you're standing right now. What do you think was happening? And then let's fast forward right back to now and say, wow, we're standing here with an opportunity to look at what Congress did in July 4, 1776, and how it got here in Reading of July 8, 1776. So we decided to walk into the courthouse and take a look. Now, mind you, when I was there before, the security guards, they were absolutely awesome. They were just great. They were excited at my enthusiasm to learn, and we got to see them again. So thank you to the security guards. They were super great. The kids were just really in awe, actually. They did a great job of just wanting to learn, wanting to discover, and talk about why it's here and what happened, and just really took control of the narrative. So I said, listen, do me a favor. Why don't you use your imagination? Go up to the microphone and start preparing yourself. What if you were one day in the military or in service, and you had an opportunity to become Corporal Jones, or you had an opportunity to stand before our country and say, this is what I can do. I want you to dream bigger and bigger and bigger, not just because of a moment in time, but because your declaration of freedom means you can do anything you put your mind to. And I want to continue to open as many doors as possible for you. So let's start to discover. We're in a room full of great ambassadors and people of Berks County of all different titles and roles. I'm just truly proud of these kids.
Loud and clear, because I'm an old guy.
So,
Well, thank you for being here today. It's great to see younger people because that's what makes our country strong in the future. Not just old people like me.
I have to say, it was a truly awe-inspiring experience just to be in the room with just different individuals that we haven't necessarily met before, that we get to experience. Here's one of our favorite humanitarians, Ms. Corey Coopy. She is a great historian and knows Berks County like the back of her hand and shares her enthusiasm with TLC, which we, in fact, love as well. Rick Politic is there. Channel 69 News was there, which is great. And we'll get to hear from Commissioner Linebaugh here in a second about what he feels is upcoming and what this means. So let's stay tuned. Let's take a listen.
Good morning. I'm Berks County Commissioner Christian Linebaugh, and I want to welcome you to our special memorial service. And the purpose of this event is to honor an event that took place 248 years ago. It was July the 8th, 1776, and somewhere down around 5th and Penn, the old Berks County Courthouse stood. And at the top of the courthouse, there was a bell. That bell. And that bell was rung to lead us in the pledge. They are from the Daughters of the American Revolution and colonial reenactors. And please remain standing as we sing together after that the national anthem. We have two of Henry Vanderslice's descendants with us this morning. And I'm going to ask them to stand. Jennifer Loveland. Jennifer is 6th generation descendant, and her daughter, is it Alicia? Di Lorenzo. Or Di Lorenza. She is 7th generation. I didn't even know we had any of the Vanderslice family still in the area. That's another story we want to tell in a future program. But Henry Vanderslice's story with the American War for Independence did not end with the reading of the Declaration, and we'll save that story. Jennifer and Alicia, thank you very much for being here.
So how does it feel to be a descendant of Sheriff Henry Vanderslice?
It's pretty cool. I kind of found out about it a week ago, but just knowing that I have a whole bunch of family out there that I didn't know about.
I believe the document known as the Declaration is, and how critical it is for our generation to embrace its ideals. It's for all people. The second thing is, and often lost, what's the core role of government? To secure these liberties. Not to limit them, not to say who can or who can't, not to come out and say, okay, we have a new definition of what the liberties are. Be aware of. But I didn't know such a bell existed until a little over 3 years ago. And I was doing a tour, Anne Marie, I believe you were with me, of the Berks History Center, and I saw the bell. I said, what is this? They told me about it, and I came back to my colleagues at the time and said, we need to work with the History Center and get this bell on display. Now you're going to hear how we still have the bell from 248 years ago. Rick Politica is a volunteer at the Berks History Center. We're glad to have him to tell us the story of Berks County's own Liberty Bell.
Thank you, Commissioner. Henry Vanderslice, who was the sheriff of Reading and Berks County at that time. And from the courthouse is where the bell resided, in the center of Penn Square, right in the middle of Penn Square is where it was. The bell was rung and the proclamation was read at that time. The bell was cast actually in Bridgewater, England, so we used something that the English gave us against them. If you think about it, we wanted that. So if you went backward, careful what you wish for, you might get it, So July 8th was when that was taking place here in Reading. The courthouse stood in the center of town. A lot of people don't realize it, but that the building that's right to the northeast corner of the square was actually attached to it, because that was the State House building. And in the basement there are still jail cells that held prisoners there to have their hearings heard at the courthouse. And there was a passageway underneath the square that went to the courthouse for that purpose. So the bell lasted in downtown Reading until 1841, when, as the city was still not a city yet, it was still a town. It did not become a city until the end of that decade. But the town of Reading was in need of more courtroom space because the town was growing. And so then The second courthouse was built on North 6th Street, and the bell was retired. And then the bell was actually replaced as far as the symbol of liberty in our area by the Goddess of Liberty. The one that's in the lobby of the courthouse here, that's the second Goddess of Liberty. The one that's in the Berks History Center is the first Goddess of Liberty. So that stood at the top of the courthouse until that courthouse was retired, until the current 1931 version was built. But the bell left Reading at that point. It wound up going down, a little bit lost in space down there in Boyertown. It wasn't until 1920 when Dr. Robert Luty was made aware of the bell down still in Boyertown, and he wound up bringing the bell. He was the one that was instrumental in getting the bell into the hands of the Berks History Center by 1923. It took about a couple of years for that to happen. He was not actually in the area. He was actually managing hotels in the Atlantic City area, but he was still involved, and he thought that there was only one place that needed to be, and that was at the Historical Society of Berks County, now known as the Berks History Center. So with that being said, so since 1923, when our headquarters were still on North 4th Street before they moved up to Center Avenue at the end of the decade, in 1923 is when we took possession of the bell. So with that being said, the story is pretty interesting because
Plan, encourage, develop, and coordinate the commemoration of the 250th anniversary of America in 2026. As we approach this significant milestone, America 250 PA aims to highlight all Pennsylvanians' integral role in the founding of the country and the profound impact of the people on our nation and our commonwealth.
Of the Chief Master Sergeant Richard Etchberger, Veterans Center for Berks County, here to read the Declaration of Independence.
To dissolve the political bands which have connected them with another, and to assume among the powers of earth the separate and equal station to which the laws of nature and of nature's God entitled them. A decent respect to the opinions of mankind required.
Written, signed, and fought for all. 248 years ago, the Declaration was read in both English and German, and it will be read in German shortly as well, because there's a large German-speaking population here. Today, we have a very large Spanish-speaking population, so I want to take the opportunity to read part of the Declaration in Spanish. And it says, La Declaración Unánime de los 13 Estados Unidos de América, cuando en el curso de los acontecimientos humanos se hace necesario para un pueblo.
Reading that most famous portion in German. Laurel Miller.
Gewalt von der Einbildung der regierten Verletzung. Das sobald einige Regierungsform diesen Endzwecken verderben wird. Es das Recht des Volkes.
Another colleague, Commissioner Dante Santoni.
Thank you. Good morning. JD, can you get that translated into Italian and maybe we can return?
Absolutely.
This right here was a really special and impactful moment. A little added treat on our way out of the courthouse. Take a listen to this amazing journey.
Was saying way before you. So, but I would respect everyone who served in law enforcement. Why right up front of law enforcement. And then there's people who have so